I read that so many people are suffering from low T, men as they age, right? It's becoming almost an epidemic of its own. And you talked about how to raise testosterone, full body compounds like squats and everything are much better at doing that. But again, you have to look deeper into the culprits of why we have low T. It's not just that no one's doing their full body workouts. That's part of it. But you talk about things, poor sleep, and even chemicals that are in household products. What else is there that people should look out for when you're talking about testosterone and how we could reverse and increase testosterone?
You touched on some of the best things. Most T is released during sleep, and improving sleep is going to dramatically improve testosterone levels, as well as improving stress and diet and exercise and sunlight is all going to probably your biggest levers that you're pulling on to help with testosterone. Inositol actually helps to increase testosterone in men and helps to decrease testosterone when you have in PCOS women, because it helps to fix insulin resistance, which drives basically too much androgen production and too much testosterone. So inositol is something I talk a little bit about in the book, how coffee can deplete it, and how actually some of our largest sources of inositol that we got during evolutionary times was from brains and kidneys and really blood cells. And we don't consume those things anymore. So that's potentially why we see so much benefit when people start taking this substance, is because the sources that were highest during ancestral times are no longer being consumed.
It's a much different time right now, I know. And, one of the things we talked about previously was the sauna therapy, infrared sauna therapy. I think we talked about it more so immune kind of boosting a little bit, as well as detoxification. What are you seeing for optimal performance and that heat versus cold factor that so many apply for optimal performance?
Yeah, what's really interesting is what's called heat acclimation. And it's similar to dehydration acclimation, which I discuss both of these topics in the book. And essentially, if you go into the sauna every single day for about 2 weeks, you become heat acclimated. And that actually is one of the best ways to pre-cool the body, because you adapt to heat acclimation by decreasing your baseline core body temperature. You increase sweat rates, you dilute the sweat so it evaporates faster. You become literally a faster and better cooling off machine when you are heat acclimated. And you may even be more resistant to the negative effects of having a heart attack, a stroke, anything that's hypoxic, because you are sort of creating the same hormetic stresses in the sauna, just at a lower level, and then you are adapting to those. So you become more resilient. It's like a time capsule. You go into the sauna, you take a quick hit, you come out stronger. I don't know if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, but it's like becoming a Super Saiyan, like as Goku takes his hits, the next day he's stronger. It's kind of like that concept.
I love it. You're bringing Dragon Ball Z into this. Amazing.
Classic cartoon.
Now, I love my lasers. I do IV laser therapy. I apply it for pain, all sorts of things. And you go into photobiomodulation with infrared light, red light. What is it doing for performance?
I used to think when people talked about lasers, like they were crazy, because I'm like a really evidence-based person. And like when you start hearing laser treatments, your like instant skeptical flag kind of becomes raised. Ironically, photobiomodulation has probably some of the best evidence for any other biohack compared to any of them out there. Like, it's pretty amazing how many disease states you can see benefits from the clinical studies using photobiomodulation. Now, essentially what this is most of them use what's called low-level laser therapy. And basically it's a combination of infrared and red light at certain spectrums. Typically it's about 630 nanometers all the way up to 950. And depending on if you're using red light or infrared, that's the spectrum though, for the range. You got to get it between that. But using these low-level lasers, either prior to exercise, after, or even better, combining it, has been shown to not only improve performance, power output, strength, but improve recovery as well. And again, it's probably a hormetic effect and an increase in release of nitric oxide and increases in ATP production when you're utilizing and stimulating things in the electron transport chain with infrared and with red light. You stimulate cytochrome C, and that increased the production of ATP and nitric oxide and things like that.